The law of assumption simply means that whatever you assume to be true has to be true no matter what. So, whatever you say goes. The only thing you ever have to do is to think in your favor and don't contradict it. Stand firm in what you want and you shall experience it no matter the circumstances or no matter the things that you're seeing right now. Also, your most consistent thoughts and assumptions create your reality and your experiences regarding a particular topic or subject or a situation. The new story is your only and the ultimate truth now. The old story is not the case anymore. You need to pick what you want to experience and stick to it. Decide that this is your truth and it is your truth, and don't argue with it. Don't go back and forth with your decision or with your assumptions. Stick to one narrative to experience it. And remember, again, it all comes down to you and the choice you make. You can either choose to stick to your new story and experience it, or stick to the old irrelevant story and continue to live the way you are living right now, which is without your desires. It's always your choice. You are literally one decision, one thought, one affirmation, one assumption away from your dream SP, your dream money, being rich, dream car, dream job, dream house, dream body, dream anything. One decision away from your manifestations. Do it for yourself. Stop dwelling in the negative assumptions and ditch the entire old story for good. If you want it, if you really want it, you will and you can have it no matter what. If it's not the story that you want to experience, then stop telling yourself that. Nobody is gonna do it for you. You need to do it for yourself. I'll tell this to you again. If it's not the story that you want to experience, then stop telling yourself that. Nothing is gonna change if you don't change first. Always remember that. Remember that there is no one to change but self. Always. Something that you must have noticed is I talk a lot about consistent and consistency. What exactly is consistency? Consistency is to be consistent. What is consistent? Something that is unchanging, reliable, or always happening and behaving in a similar way. I am a firm believer that consistency plays a very, very vital and important role in manifestation. The more consistent you are, the faster you receive what you want. Consistency always brings in results. There is absolutely no arguments to that. But Strawberry, what does being consistent look like? I'm glad you asked. But first we will start by looking into what not being consistent looks like. Number 1. Affirming, scripting, visualizing, or deciding or doing whatever you enjoy or resonate with, and once you are done with it, you going back to your old story and reaffirming and thinking it. Number 2. I have been affirming for 20 days, but where is it? I hate to break it to you, but you weren't just affirming. You were contradicting yourself too. You might be affirming, but what were you thinking when you were not affirming? What were you assuming and telling yourself outside it? Were you really thinking from your new story when you were not affirming? Let's say if a random thought of your desire pops up, what are you telling yourself? Is it in your favor? Are you telling yourself, I have been affirming for 20,000 days, but I don't see it yet? Or you tell yourself, SP is mine, the money is mine, the money is in the bank, I have it. What are you telling yourself? Number 3. I was consistent for 3 days, but where is it? I don't see it. My only question here is, why did you stop after 3 days? Who told you to stop? Who made this rule or this strict 3-day rule? There is no such thing as you need to manifest something in a certain period or especially 3 days. Time is a man-made concept, and the more you keep focusing on the days passing or thinking, oh, it's been 2 days or it's end of the second day, I still don't have it, then it will be, it's literally been 11 hours after 2 days. I still don't have it. Will I ever get it? Is it even real? Please always remember, whatever you focus on grows. So the more you keep focusing on time passing and you're not getting what you want, instead of you focusing on your new story, you would unfortunately manifest more of the time passing and you not seeing what you want. But if you would have stayed consistent and stood firm in your new story, then you would have definitely manifested what you want. And this is the inevitable. The law is always working. The law reflects and shows you who you are. So instead of saying and telling yourself it's been X amount of days, I don't have it, tell yourself it's mine. Tell yourself I'm rich. Tell yourself SP is mine. Tell yourself I'm happy I got the admission in my dream college, or whatever desire you have, and however you will describe that you have it. Only focus on what you want and nothing else. Number 4, I don't believe it. Will it happen? Not being able to believe makes me less consistent and be more doubtful. Okay? I really want to tell you that you don't have to believe or feel anything at all. Just focus on staying consistent with one narrative, which is your new story, and you will have what you want no matter what. I too never believed my affirmations, or never believed that I would manifest what I wanted when I first started to manifest, and sometimes even now this thing happens. But guess what? I still always, literally always end up manifesting everything I want. You know why? Because I felt it real, or I believed in it. Well, no, I was consistent. I would say it again, I was consistent. So just focus on your new story, and remember, you don't have to feel anything. Your feelings and emotions do not manifest. What manifests is consistency. So consistency over everything. Another thing that people say is, it's so hard for me to be consistent. I always get reminded of the old story and the circumstances. I want to first start by asking you this question. Is staying consistent for some time and getting what you want really as hard as continuing to live forever just the way you are doing right now? Living without your desire, is it as hard as living without the SP that you love so much? Is it as hard as living without the money that you want, or the life-changing opportunities that you are willing to manifest? Answer this question for yourself and really think about it. Now let's talk about circumstances and the old story. First of all, circumstances don't matter. Circumstances will never matter. Circumstances never mattered. Any and every circumstance will turn around and disappear once you start being consistent in your new story, and once you start being consistent in your favor. No circumstance is big enough or hard enough for you to eliminate. Circumstances do not matter. Consistency, by the way, kills circumstances. Now let's talk about the old story. The old story is called the old story for a reason, by the way. It is in the past. It's not happening right now. It's not you now, or it's not your now. It's gone. It's done. Your past doesn't define you now. And you will manifest whatever it is that you want, despite of how shitty or how bad your old story looked. The old story has no power over you unless you yourself go out of your way and give it the power. Snatch the power away. All you need to do is simply stand firm in your new story now and don't contradict it. Your past is irrelevant. It doesn't decide or dictate anything. Even if you get reminded of your new story or some particular situation that happened in the old story, just simply tell yourself your old story does not matter and it's not your truth anymore, and move on from that. Or you can also add your affirmations after that, or tell yourself, what I want is mine. It's the inevitable. I'm gonna get what I want. And just reaffirm it whenever you think about it, or whenever you find yourself contradicting it. Also, another question, why would you go back to something that is irrelevant and serves you no purpose and is old anyways? And why would you go to the past or the old story when it doesn't get you your manifestation? You say you really want it. You do, right? Then it's time to stay disciplined. How will you experience a new story when you are constantly thinking and expecting the old story? How are you building a new house with a broken foundation? Why are you expecting to experience something that does not serve you any purpose and that is not what you want? Why are you going back and forth with yourself when you know that there are clearly two sides? One side is something that you don't want to experience, and then there is something new that you want to experience, and which you can experience, by the way. It's about time you pick a side. Be decisive for once. You cannot be serving two masters at once. Pick one. The choice is yours. No one else is gonna pick and decide for you. Choose wisely. You have two options. Either you can keep complaining and find every excuse possible to be as poorly disciplined as possible and never ever get what you want, or stay disciplined and consistent for once and guaranteed get your results. Pick one side and stick to it. Again, pick one side, don't go back and forth, and stick to it. Now let's talk about what being consistent looks like. So for example, you are manifesting an SP, and here is how, if I were to also manifest an SP, how I would approach it. I personally would come up with a few affirmations and affirm them whenever I feel like it and whenever I want to. And sometimes I do like to go on rampages about how SP is obsessed with me, how SP knows I'm the most perfect girl ever for him, and how SP just cannot stop thinking about me. I would make sure that I tell myself my affirmations or something favorable or something in line with my new story whenever I think about my SP or whatever it is that I am manifesting. So let's say while thinking about SP, I drift into the old story or negative circumstances, and I start to really reaffirm them and think about them a lot. Now here is where consistency and discipline comes into play. This is where I would, and so should you, instead of going on with the negative mindset and the spiral, I would tell myself, this is my old story, this isn't my truth anymore, my SP is mine, whatever I want is mine, I have my SP, and that's the real truth. No matter how much your brain goes to the old story, please bring it back, because being in the old story is just not gonna get you anything. Again, the choice is yours. Stick to what you want. Something that also really helped me, and I recommend it to literally a lot or majority of my coaching clients, is simply affirming I'm always consistent with my new story, or I am highly disciplined and I'm always consistent. So basically, revision is when you change a certain outcome or a certain situation that happened in the past. Revision is more than possible. I would also share some of my favorite revision success stories with you now. So my definite favorite is revising my relationship with my parents. I wouldn't go too much in detail, but just know it seemed literally impossible at first, but I still did it because I am limitless, and so are you, and so is everyone. And another one of my revision success stories is when I burned my fingers and it literally disappeared in a couple of days. It was really painful. But when it disappeared after a couple of days, I asked my mother if she remembers when I burnt my fingers, because she was the first person that I showed my burnt fingers to. She said, "What are you talking about? You never burnt your hands. Your hands have been perfectly fine. There is no way you burnt anything." I know it sounds not so logical, but truly there is no logic to the law. We override logic each time. A lot of people, including me, have manifested things that override logic. And it makes no sense for us to get what we wanted, but we still did. We still got it because we didn't let logic stop us from living our dream life or our life to the fullest. We are limitless creatures. And once we start to put limit to our ability, we put ourselves in this box and we really let go of our true essence of being limitless. Going back to revision, you can revise any situation that you want. The fight, the grade. You can revise you and your SP never breaking up. You can revise the school that you studied in. You can revise a denial into an agreement. You can revise an agreement into a denial. You can literally revise anything that you want. So since you know you can revise anything that you want, so how do you get started? Here is how I personally revise. First, choose what you want to revise and what outcome you want it to be now. After this, you would do the same thing that you would do when you are manifesting literally anything, which is stand firm in what you want or in your new story and stay consistent with it. So you can affirm whenever you feel like, however much you like, and do just do whatever that resonates with you. It could be scripting, it could be SATs, visualizing, or whatever it is. But make sure that you only think from your new story and just don't affirm the negative or the old story now, because again, the old story is irrelevant. Something that I told myself when I was revising was anything and everything is possible for me. This really, really helped me because I used to get very anxious because it seemed and felt really impossible But again, nothing is impossible unless you allow it to be, because whatever you say goes. So tell yourself anything and everything is possible for me, because it's just so straight to the point, just so good, and it just calms you down. So quickly, I'll sum it up all again. Revision means when you change something that took place in the past. To revise anything, all you need to do is select what you want to revise, select a new outcome or a new result of it, and stick to it and don't contradict it. No matter how impossible it may seem, or no matter how many contradicting thoughts you have, if you are consistent with a new outcome or with a new story, you will 100% revise whatever that you want. Let's talk about being obsessed and having an obsession with your desire. To be honest, I don't really think there is anything wrong with being obsessed with your desire. Truthfully speaking, I have had so many desires of mine where I have thought about it constantly and focused on it any time or any moment I got in my day. But I always got what I wanted. I always manifested it at the end, even being obsessed. I also think that when you deeply desire something, being obsessed with that thing or being obsessed with that desire isn't anything abnormal. I think it's okay. I also remember when I was finally starting to understand the law, I was even more excited to manifest what I want, and I started to think about my desires a lot more, but I still manifested them despite of the obsession. Also, this reminds me or brings me to the topic of letting go. You don't need to let go or do any of these extra things to manifest. You can think about your desires and still manifest it. I and a lot of people, and so many of my clients, are a proof of it. There is no need of letting go. The only thing that you ever want or should do to manifest is to stay consistent. You can be obsessed and you can be thinking about your desires all day long and you would still get what you want. Impatience stems from thinking that you don't have it, or you looking outside of yourself for validation and not finding it, and thinking and assuming it isn't working, and thinking that you don't have it or the law just doesn't work for you. Here, I also want to add that there is no bigger validation than you yourself. This is why I always tell people to always validate themselves. If you want to look outside of yourself for validation, just go within, because the outside is a reflection of you, and who you are being or what you are thinking internally is what is being reflected outside. So the next time you have an urge to check or ask where is it or complain about it, just simply go within. Tell yourself you have it and it will be reflected outside, because again, reality mirrors you. You can also, or some people also like to call it 4D, or your imagination creates, and your 3D or your outer world is your physical reality. 3D essentially is just a copycat. It copies everything that you are thinking and assuming internally or in the 4D, and it reflects it. Your 3D is a direct reflection of you and you only. So if you are experiencing something that you don't like, just go within. Tell yourself this isn't the case anymore, and tell yourself your affirmations or what you want to happen, and just stay consistent and still with it, and it will be reflected outside, because that's the law. But these are the things that also helped me a lot. So whenever I would get impatient about a particular desire, say money, I would just shift my focus to another desire of mine. It could be my physical appearance, my height, or anything like that. But if I'm only focusing on one desire at that time, I would then shift my focus to self-concept, and I would really go all in and like robotically affirm for my self-concept, because you just can never go wrong with focusing on self-concept. Another thing that I like to do when I'm really anxious or just feeling impatient is taking deep breaths, like at least 5 to 10, and then I like to tell myself I'm good, I'm gonna get whatever it is that I want, no matter what, I'm gonna be okay. And I tell myself this until I feel a little less anxious or a little better. Because feeling anxious is a response when you feel unsafe or uncertain at times. And just telling myself it's mine and it's gonna be mine no matter what, and I'm gonna be okay, has helped me a lot. And I have also recommended this to a lot of people, and they have only had positive remarks about this. Something else that I really want to stress on is, and like I cannot stress enough on its importance is allowing yourself to feel your emotions rather than suppressing them. Your emotions can never define how your manifestations will turn out, and suppressing your emotions just never helps. It has never helped anyone, and it is never gonna help anyone. Allow yourself to feel it all. Let it all out. Cry it all out if you want to, but just make sure you don't suppress it and pile up all these emotions, because one day this pile is gonna come down and it's gonna explode on you, and it's not gonna be a pleasant experience. I have been there and I have done that. So please don't be like me here and allow yourself to feel your emotions. Again, I will remind you, your feelings do not manifest. Your feelings and emotions do not manifest. So please do take care of yourself mentally as well as physically, and don't neglect yourself and your emotions. If you want to let it all out, if you want to cry it out, if you want to crash out, do it. But just don't suppress it. Allow yourself to feel your emotions, because you will only feel much lighter, peaceful and better, and which will definitely help you being even more consistent, and you will feel just better because you let out all your emotions instead of piling it all up. Something else that I did, which is really simple yet very helpful, was simply telling myself I never get anxious when I'm manifesting anything, and I never get anxious with my news story or while affirming for my news story. I robotically affirmed this, and this is again something that I recommend to a lot of people, and everyone had good results with it, because you are just essentially focusing on not getting anxious and you're being consistent with it, and whatever you say goes. Whatever you're consistent with just manifests. So I would really recommend you to try it out, and just try it out, because I know it will help. Another thing is, sometimes people get anxious, impatient, because literally all day, every day, each moment, they are only and only focused on their desires. Like, each moment they are not doing anything but checking on their phone and just thinking about their desires and looking for signs and movement, which, by the way, don't ever focus on signs and movement, because why would you focus on breadcrumbs or bits and pieces of your desires when you can have your complete desires? Why would you let breadcrumbs of your desires dictate how you feel or dictate your worth? Focus on the end goal. Focus on the bigger picture, not the bits and pieces of it. I personally focused on signs and movement for months on end, and I only manifested them a couple of times and never my complete desire. And you know what happened? The only thing that happened was I grew more frustrated and confused. So again here, don't be like me. Don't focus on signs and movements. I repeat, don't focus on signs and movements. If you see a movement or a sign, good. If you don't see, again, no problem. You still have it. It's yours. It's inevitable. Rather than spending your whole day just looking for signs and spiraling, please do something else. Literally do anything. Keep yourself occupied. Get a hobby. If you have a hobby, do it. Get better at it. And just don't lock yourself up and neglect everything around you just to manifest something. That's not how it works. That's not healthy. Just keep yourself occupied. Do something else as well. Get out of your room. Don't. If you are just impatient and spiraling all day and sitting in your room all day just consuming content, it's not gonna help. Just get up, take a shower. You'll feel better. So I would highly recommend you just do something. It can literally be going for a walk or drinking water, taking a shower, as I said. Go out with your friends. Talk to someone, literally anyone. If can be anyone. Go to a restaurant, go to a hike, go to whatever. But please do something. Keep yourself occupied. Get out of your phone. Get out of scrolling endlessly. Get out of just consuming content. Because consuming isn't going to help you. You applying it is what is going to get you your manifestation. Also, I just wanted to add that by no means I mean that you cannot be sitting on your bed all day or sitting in your room all day and not manifest what you want. I meant if you are sitting in your room all day consuming, spiraling, and just at this point I would say marinating in it, then you definitely need to just stand up, like really stand up and go do something. And with go do something, I also don't mean that you need to take actions or do XYZ to get what you want. But if you are spiraling and if you are just just putting yourself in this loop, then just getting up and doing anything, going out for a walk and just listening to music, literally anything helps. So please don't take it the wrong way and think I am putting limits on you and I am a limiting person. I'm just not, but I just really wanted to clarify that.